There's a lot of talk about FBI Most Wanted, but did you know Europe has a Most Wanted list as well? There are currently 46 people from multiple countries that the police is looking for. Emil Gânj, wanted by Romania. In February 2025, he kidnapped his former partner, violating measures imposed by a court protection order. In July 2025, he committed aggravated murder, killing his partner and then setting fire to the house in an attempt to destroy evidence. There's an European arrest warrant against him for kidnapping, aggravated murder, and destruction by arson. He is considered extremely dangerous and is wanted by the Romanian authorities to serve his prison sentence for violating a protection order and to face trial for these serious crimes. Enrique Arias Gil, wanted by Spain. He is guilty of crime of terrorist computer damage and membership of a criminal organization. Timoshchuk Viktorovich Volodymyr, wanted by France. From 2018 to 2020, this man and his accomplices participated in the deployment of a ransomware on hundreds of victim companies, which saw their activities disrupted and were forced to pay a ransom. The group's activities caused more than $18 billion in damage worldwide. Zoltan Bendegus Balo, wanted by Hungary. He is wanted for possession and trafficking of a particularly large quantity of narcotics in Hungary. Nicola Stankovic, wanted by Hungary. He played a leading role in an international drug trafficking criminal organization between 2018 and 2025. His main task was to procure drugs and transport them to Hungary and to buyers. The group used encrypted communication applications to maintain secrecy. During this period, the criminal organization transported at least 4,822 kilograms of Mary Jane, 114 kilograms of cocaine, as well as amphetamine oil, ketamine, and other drugs to Hungary, which exceeded the significant quantity defined by law several times over. In 2018, the wanted person decided to have a citizen killed due to a dispute over payments and gave orders within the organization to carry out the murder. The killing happened on September 20, 2018. Melissa Smrekar, wanted by Slovenia. She took her underage daughter from her legal guardian in 2021 and took her to an unknown location. It is assumed that they are still together. Joseph Johannes Leijdekkers, wanted by Netherlands. He is considered to be one of the key players in international cocaine trafficking. He is also suspected of large-scale laundering of the criminal proceeds of drugs trafficking. Some encrypted messages showed that Leijdekkers was involved in laundering dozens of millions of euros and hundreds of kilos of gold, which were probably earned through cocaine trafficking. During the large-scale criminal investigation, the investigation team composed a criminal file about this man's involvement in the import of large quantities of cocaine via the ports of Rotterdam and Antwerp. One of the cases also included threatening with violence and the use of violence. He is believed to be involved in the disappearance and death of Naima Gilal. Gilal went missing on October 20, 2019 after she got into a car in Amsterdam. For a long time, there was no trace of Naima Gilal until photos of a woman believed to be her were found on a phone seized in the Marengo investigation. The photos showed that she was most likely tortured and is probably no longer alive. Leijdekkers was sentenced to 24 years in prison on June 25, 2024 for 6 drug transports totaling almost 7,000 kilos of cocaine, an armed robbery in Finland, and ordering a liquidation. Margus Nome, wanted by Estonia. He committed sexual offenses against children in 2022. Mikhail Vescuz, wanted by Estonia. He acquired large quantity of MDMA with the intention to transfer narcotic drug to other persons in September-October 2010. Mohamed Suleiman Niazi. He is wanted by Germany. He is suspected of stabbing his 26-year-old ex-partner to death in her apartment on March 10, 2019. Since then, the wanted man has been on the run. It cannot be ruled out that Niazi is currently living in another European country. Renaldas Kanis, wanted by Lithuania. Kanis participated in criminal organization, smuggled drugs, and organized the murder of a Lithuanian national. Between 2007 and 2017, being in Spain, together with accomplices, he organized acquisitions of a very large quantity of narcotic substance cocaine in the South America, Hashish, in the territory of Africa, illegal transportation and storage of narcotic substances to the territory of Spain, then unlawful transportation of drugs from Spain through the territory of the European Union to Netherlands, UK, Romania, Poland, and Lithuania by hiding narcotic substances in specially made hiding places on ships, trailers, and sea containers. In 2015, Canis organized the murder of a victim in Kaunas city, Lithuania. The victim was shot in his vehicle on June 11, 2015. Radojes Vicer, wanted by Austria. He is suspected of having imported 83 kilograms of cocaine, at least 60.9% pure content, from other countries to Austria as a leading member of a criminal organization. He contributed by organizing the smuggling trips with accomplices. Eva Zameknikova, wanted by Slovakia. According to the indictment, the businesswoman ordered the murder of her husband on January 15, 2014 and wanted to pay 50,000 euros for it. However, the murder executor turned to the police and became a crown witness. The day of the murder was to be January 24, 2014. She planned to declare her husband missing after 2 years and thus get the rest of their house. According to the witness, the reason why she wanted to get rid of her husband is also that she did not want to feed her husband. Robert Okolikani, wanted by Slovakia. He has an international arrest warrant for the crime of establishment, organization, and support of a criminal group and a terrorist group. Giovanni Motisi, wanted by Italy. He is a fugitive since 1998 and known with the nickname Il Pacchione. Motisi is wanted as a leading member of the Mafia-style criminal organization called Cosa Nostra, as well as for having been sentenced to life in prison for the crime of murder and massacre. In particular, he was recognized as the perpetrator of the murder of several members of the Italian police forces, and in 1985, he was one of the perpetrators of the massacre in Palermo, in which Motisi, together with a commando of 9 killers, killed the head of the investigative unit of the National Police and one of his escort police officers, firing more than 200 Kalashnikov rounds. Said Hussein Naurbayev, wanted by Czech Republic. He has been convicted for a murder to 17.5 years in prison. This man and his accomplice committed the murder during the night of 25 to 26th of May 2015. They were living in Austria at the time of the crime. They got a tip about valuable items that were in the victim's house. They attacked the owner of the house violently, they tied him and beat him brutally for a long time. They caused him serious injuries and finally suffocated him. They examined the whole house and stole historical and other valuable items. They had started fire before they left the house and then they returned to Vienna, Austria. The wanted person's accomplice has already been arrested and he is in prison now. Ali Shehab Ahmed, wanted by Sweden. He is wanted on a red notice for injury causing death, manslaughter, murder. The murders took place in Farsta Centrum, Stockholm, on the 10th of June 2023. Adrian Munteanu, wanted by Romania. Between 2012 and 2017, he joined a criminal organized group which was dealing with trafficking in human beings for sexual exploitation, including an underage girl. Wilhelmus Beckmann, wanted by Belgium. Beckmann murdered his girlfriend and then staged a violent robbery. To cover up the body and the gunshot wounds, he tried to set fire to the villa where he was staying. The crime was committed in 2008. Maurice Jankevich, wanted by Latvia. On April 2, 2022, while being under the influence of alcohol, he murdered a woman. He hit her twice with a blunt object to her face, he cut her with a sharp object 7 times, he hit her with a blunt object to her body 14 times, he stabbed her 9 times, burned her with some object that caused second-degree burns, and choked her with rope. He is facing a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. Mehmed Mustafa Shakir, wanted by Bulgaria. In September and October 2009, Mustafa Mehmed Shakir, in criminal association with 4 other perpetrators, induced another Bulgarian citizen to illegally carry heroin from Turkey to Bulgaria, and the said crime was committed on November 7, 2009, when the mule was apprehended with over 27 kilograms of heroin. He was also convicted of being a member of an organized crime group created with the aim of committing drug-related crimes. For both offenses, Shakir was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Ben Mahmoud Montassar, wanted by Luxembourg. He tried to kill a female victim by kneeling on her shoulders, strangling her and cutting off her breath from her neck, placing a pillow over the face and pressing down hard. He also hit his victim with hands and elbows. He then violently assaulted her using punches, kicks, and gloves with metal tips, causing serious injuries and incapacity for work. Additionally, he threatened her with a knife and verbally and stole her ID card. Arto Kalevi Autio, wanted by Finland. He is suspected of aiding and abetting aggravated embezzlements, aggravated giving of a bribe in business, aggravated accounting offense, aggravated tax fraud. Total amount of lost property was more than 10 million euros. Tibor Foko, wanted by Austria. He is suspected of having killed a sex worker on March 13, 1986. In 1987, he was sentenced to life in prison, but in 1995, Tibor Foko escaped from prison while on leave to study. Noureddine Ibrahim Hamid, wanted by Malta. He is wanted for murdering Silvana Muscat, 36. The victim was found murdered in her bedroom of her apartment on the 11th of March 2015. The investigation proved that the victim was killed inside the same apartment by her former partner, Ibrahim. The autopsy proved that the victim died of a total of 5 stab wounds on the same day her body was discovered. It was confirmed that the man took a flight to Italy, but reliable sources informed the Maltese police that a month later he was seen in Dublin, Ireland, which is his last known whereabouts. Willem Kovac, wanted by Czech Republic. As the head of an organized crime group, he participated in extensive drug trades, particularly in the Czech Republic, but also in Lebanon, Greece, Slovenia, Poland, Germany, Spain, France, Netherlands, Latvia, Lithuania, and Russia. The organized crime group is involved in the import, export, storage, distribution, and sale of drugs. Additionally, the organized crime group is engaged in the illegal import, next distribution, and export of cigarettes. He is armed and dangerous. The impending punishment is 18 years of imprisonment. Kamil Zila, wanted by Poland. In March 2022, in the vicinity of the football stadium, acting with the direct intention of depriving a person of life, he sneaked into a parked BMW car in which a victim was in the driver's seat, and after opening the driver's side door, he stabbed the person multiple times in the area of the head, neck, chest, and upper limbs, and pressed his neck with his hands, causing this person approximately 50 injuries. The victim, of course, died due to internal and external hemorrhage. Anton Zivkov Petkovsky, wanted by Bulgaria. On December 12, 2001, this man, in criminal association with another Bulgarian citizen, shot to death an adult male with a Scorpio machine gun. A few hours later, he shot to death his accomplice with the same gun, presumably with the aim of covering his traces. He also smashed his face in order to impede his identification. Petkovsky was sentenced to life in prison on October 8, 2012. Abdullah Kodor, wanted by Luxembourg. He is suspected of having taken part in a violent house robbery. On December 17, 2017, at noon, a woman and her minor granddaughter were attacked in her house by 2 offenders. The victims were threatened with knives. Several pieces of jewelry and a small sum of money were stolen. The perpetrators also destroyed the house phone so that they could not call the police. Alex Bureli, wanted by Cyprus. In June 2016, this man and an accomplice entered a restaurant and by using pistols and automatic weapons, they killed 3 people, a businessman, a police officer and his wife, in the presence of their 2 underage children. They also seriously injured the second police officer and another person present at the scene. From the exchange of gunshots, the accomplice of the fugitive was shot and killed on the spot. Bureli fled the scene by a car which was later found burning. Bureli also conspired to commit other murders in Cyprus. Dominique Delattre, wanted by France. He is a criminal involved in gangs. On August 25, 2000, he escaped from prison. He was there for his participation in the armed attack on a cash transport van on October 3, 1997, where a conveyor was seriously injured. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Leons Rusins, wanted by Latvia. On April 16, 2023, Rusins blocked the road in front of the car driven by his ex-wife, son, and ex-wife's mother. The man smashed the window of the car and, in presence of his minor son and ex-wife's mother, he stabbed his ex-wife in the neck and face, killing her. Richard James Schuler, wanted by Finland. The police is searching for him for multiple reasons. He avoided tax counted in hundreds of millions of euros, and he physically assaulted a 16-year-old victim by grabbing her hair, dragging her into the stairwell, and knocking her to the ground. Farid Touloun, wanted by France. He belongs to a criminal organization specialized in armed robberies and the trafficking of narcotics. On the night of June 10, 2005, he participated in the surveillance that led to the murder and serious injury of two criminals from a rival gang. He is particularly dangerous and has not hesitated in the past to escape by opening fire on police officers in France or abroad. Renato Cinquegranella, wanted by Italy. He was born in 1949 and has practically disappeared since 2002. He is wanted for Mafia-style criminal association and for being a killer of the same organization. He is wanted for murder, illegal possession and carrying of weapons, extortion, and more. He was originally linked to the New Family, historians' rivals of the new organized Camorra. His name appears in the judicial chronicles of two of the crimes that most shocked Naples: the murder of Giacomo Frattini, tortured, killed, and torn to pieces in January 82. The victim was found wrapped in a sheet in the trunk of a car, while his head, hands, and heart were found cut and closed in two plastic bags inside the car. Cinquegranella is also considered responsible for the massacre of the head of the Polizia di Stato investigative unit of Napoli, Antonio Amaturo, and his driver, Pasquale Paola, committed in July 1982 by the Red Brigades, a politic terroristic organization. The episode confirmed the existence of a wicked pact between the Red Brigade and the area leaders of the Camorra in the center of Naples. He is on the run since 2002, and international research has been carried out since December 2018, so far without results. He was sentenced to life in prison. Stefan van Coat Do, wanted by Denmark. He was arrested on March 1, 2021, along with a group of criminals and charged with attempt to rob a container containing 300 kilograms of cocaine, which originally was sent from Brazil with legal cargo to a Danish company. Do escaped from prison in June 2021 and is now registered as wanted worldwide. He has a dual citizenship, both Vietnamese and Danish. Most of his life he has been living in Denmark, but he was also staying in Spain. It is the opinion of the police that he has access to criminal networks in many of the European countries. Murad Laclag, wanted by Spain. In October 2023 in Valencia, after a heated discussion with another individual in the street, he stabbed the man multiple times in the neck, killing him. The victim's wife witnessed the entire incident. The man is known as a dangerous criminal in Spain, involved in multiple violent robberies, burglaries, and attacks on law enforcement officers. Abdenur Jabri, wanted by Poland. In January 2022, he suffocated a woman to death. Tomislav Drmic, wanted by Croatia. The police is looking for him for multiple reasons: criminal association, committing a criminal offense as a member of a criminal association, illegal production and trafficking in illegal drugs, and illicit possession, manufacturing, and procurement of weapons and explosives. He is considered dangerous, violent, and armed. Patrick Martins Vajnoc, wanted by Netherlands. He was part of a criminal organization that traded in large quantities of cocaine, hash, and hemp. The narcotics were hidden in truck tires and transported to England, Spain, and Scandinavia. On June 18, 2024, the Court of Appeal in The Hague sentenced him to a prison term of 7 years and 2 months. He is currently a fugitive and must serve his remaining sentence of almost 6 years. Amin Katra, wanted by Denmark. Katra is wanted for a murder committed on June 1, 2016 in Denmark. He cut the throat of the victim. Darius Pozarikij, wanted by Lithuania. In 2021, he was sentenced to serve 11 years of imprisonment for drug smuggling. The man, together with some accomplices, organized and transported huge amounts of drugs from Germany via Poland to Lithuania. Karim Ouali, wanted by France. On April 27, 2011, working as an air traffic controller, Ouali murdered one of his colleagues with an Amerindian axe. He was suffering from persecution mania and was in a psychotic state. After committing the murder, he fled. He has tribal tattoos on the chest and thigh and a birthmark on the right cheek. Eddie Job, wanted by Sweden. Job is wanted for murder by the Swedish authorities, and there is an intense search to have him located and arrested. He is dangerous and unpredictable. Evading justice makes him a priority for not only Swedish police but also for law enforcement agencies from multiple countries who are now cooperating tirelessly to locate him and bring him to trial for his alleged crimes. His last known location was Italy. Vladimir Vaclavec, wanted by Croatia. Vaclavec is wanted for a murder he committed in October 2001. At that time, he was 20 years old. He has been on the run ever since. Today, he is a 43-year-old man. Salih Ahmet, wanted by Cyprus. Salih Ahmet and Mehmet Akrinar are wanted by the Cyprus authorities for the premeditated murder of a British citizen named George Henry Lowe, who was fatally injured in the throat, and the attempted murder of another British citizen, Ben Joseph Robert Barker, who was stabbed multiple times. The crimes took place in August 2016, and both perpetrators have been on the run ever since. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.